Hello children, welcome to today's English class. I hope you all are safe, healthy and happy at home. Children, these days we are learning some stories from your supplementary text, and I have always been telling you the supplementary text needs a lot of reading on your part. It is to improve your reading skills, and therefore after reading every story, I do request you to read the story very carefully. Try to understand the characters and also the values that lie hidden in each of these stories. We learn a lot from every lesson, from every story, from every poem. Children, in the last class we had learnt chapter 7 of your supplementary text, Footprints Without Feet, the necklace. And do you remember what we had learnt, children? That we had learnt to be content with whatever we have. We should be happy with whatever God has given us, and we should always be positive in our life, and then we will be able to enjoy our life. Since the character of the story was not happy with whatever she had, and she had to borrow a necklace from her friend, and you know how much she had to struggle. So, if we do not learn to be content with whatever we have, then we will find ourselves in trouble. So, you all must be eagerly waiting for the story which we are going to learn today. So, before we exactly move on to the story, let us discuss something about the characters which is going to help you to understand the story better. Children, today we are going to learn chapter 8 of your supplementary text, The Hack Driver by Sinclair Lewis. So, here the narrator, who is a young lawyer, has been sent to a village to serve a summon to Oliver Lutkins. So, let us see who are the main characters. Children, the narrator, okay, who is a young lawyer, okay, and here Oliver Lutkins, okay. Here initially, if you read, he is the hack driver. So, the narrator is a young lawyer who works in a magnificent firm. Children, magnificent here means huge and impressive, okay, an attractive firm. So, he worked in this company, and though he was a lawyer, he was not, asked to document the cases or files in a court, argue in a court. Okay. Instead, he was sent to work as a clerk. You might have seen people from courts, they bring summons to people to appear before a judge or a magistrate. So, that is a summon. So, though he was a lawyer, so he was often sent to people, to issue them summons, to ask them to appear before a judge or a magistrate as a witness. Okay. So, this particular character, Oliver Lutkins, was to be issued a summon as he was a witness to a case, and his presence in the court would help them to solve the case very quickly. So, now children, this lawyer, okay, who was working in this firm, and instead of doing the job of a lawyer, he was often sent to issue summons, okay, and he did not like doing this job, okay, and he was in fact bored of the city life, and the reactions of the different people to whom he went with the summon. Okay. Now, he was waiting to have a break, he was tired of the city life and doing the job of clerk, okay, and many a time, children, the people to whom he issued the summon were very rude to him. Okay. Now, what happened? One fine day, he was sent to issue a summon to Oliver Lutkins, who lived in a village. So, now this young lawyer was very happy as he got a break from the city life, and he got an opportunity to go to a village. We know that the countryside or the villages, the life is very peaceful and cool, the beauty of nature, the fresh air, greenery. So, he was very happy to go to the village. Now, children, once he goes to the village to find this person and issue a summon to him. So, was he successful in doing so, or was he fooled? Okay. So, this person was very friendly, okay, and he introduced himself as Bill. Okay. The moment the lawyer or the narrator, he reached the village. So, this person was, Bill was there in the railway station, and the narrator found this person very friendly, okay, and though his clothes were very dirty, and as he introduced himself as a hack driver, okay, but he was very simple, he was friendly, okay. So, now we need to see that in the world which we live in, has got different types of people, and in many situations we need to be very careful while handling things, okay. Otherwise we can easily get fooled by people. So, sometimes we say that people who are very innocent, people who are very simple and very honest, they are many times cheated by clever people, people who are very clever, okay. So, we need to be really careful, okay. We must act wisely whenever it demands, okay. Now, this particular lawyer meets this person Bill, who was a hack driver. Now, let us try to understand by looking at some of the points of the story which I have jotted it down for you, and try to understand whether the narrator was successful in his mission, okay, because he had to return back to the city the same day, okay. So, his mission was to come and issue a summon to this person Oliver Lutkins, okay. Now, let us move on to the points of the story and try to understand the story, and let us try to understand whether this particular lawyer was successful in his mission. The Hack Driver by Sinclair Lewis. Children, in the picture you can see a hack driver in his hack. A hack is actually a horse cart, like about the bullock cart, okay. A person who drives this horse cart is known as a hack driver, okay. So, the name of the story is also The Hack Driver. The narrator was a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm, and he was usually sent to serve summons. He hated his unpleasant work because sometimes he was even beaten up by his clients. He was very happy when he was sent to a country town, Newmillen, about 40 miles away. He was to serve summons on a man called Oliver Lutkins, who lived there. I hope we have discussed this in the introduction part. The narrator was now sent to Newmillens, and he was very happy to go there as he was tired of his city life. Now, he was disappointed to see the narrow muddy streets and wooden shops of Newmillen, but the only man he liked there was a delivery man who called himself Bill. Bill, the hack cab driver, was a 40 years old, red-faced, cheerful man. The narrator, the lawyer, told Bill that he came there to serve summons on a man called Oliver Lutkins, who was a witness in a legal case. So, children, the moment he arrived in New Millions at the railway station, he was a bit disappointed about the condition over there, the narrow muddy streets and wooden shops, okay. But he was impressed by a man there who was very friendly and who was nearly 40 years old, who looked very cheerful, very happy, and the narrator went and spoke to him and told him that he had come there to find out a man called Oliver Lutkins, who was a witness in a legal case, and he wanted to issue a summon to that person. Okay, children, the moment he arrived in that village in New Million, the first person he met and was impressed was the person called Bill, the hack driver. Now, let us see what happens then. Now, Bill told the narrator that he saw Oliver Lutkins an hour ago around there. The narrator hired Bill's hack for $2 an hour. Bill told him that they could find Oliver at Fritz's place and suggested him to remain behind him. He told the lawyer that Oliver was good at deceiving people and played a lot of poker. Children, here poker means card games, playing the card games. You all are familiar with card games, and many of you might be playing cards. Okay. So, now what happened, children? Bill, the moment he heard about Oliver Lutkins from the narrator, he told him that he just saw him an hour back there, and he also said that he would help him to find Oliver Lutkins, and he also offered to take the narrator around to search Oliver Lutkins in his hack. And so, the narrator hired his hack for $2 an hour. Okay. And Bill also told him that they could find Oliver at Fritz's place. Okay. So, now children, he is taking him to different places where there are chances that Oliver Lutkins could be there, and Bill also promised the narrator to help him find out Oliver Lutkins. So, the narrator was also very happy that there was someone at the railway station with the hack and who was ready to take him around and who would help him. So, he agreed to go with this hack driver. And also, children, this person called Bill told the narrator that Bill was very famous for cheating people. You know, he cheated people and he also played lot of card games. So, now both of them set out in search of Oliver Lutkins. Now, let us see what happens, children. Fritz informed them that Lutkins was present there a while ago. Perhaps he had gone to Gustav's barber shop for a shave. When the lawyer and Bill met Gustav, he clearly denied seeing Oliver Lutkins. Then they went to Gray's barber shop, and there they were told that Oliver Lutkins was there just 5 minutes ago. Now, children, the first place Bill took the narrator was Fritz's shop. You know, the moment they went there, Bill just went alone to ask Fritz about Oliver Lutkins, and he asked the narrator to stay back. He did not take the narrator inside. Okay. So, the moment he went inside Fritz's shop, Fritz told him that, you know, he just left from there a while ago. He was there, and but now he was not there, he just left from there. Okay. So, he also told that maybe he has gone to Gustav's barber shop for a shave. So, when they went to Gustav's barber shop, there also they could find him, and he said that he had not seen Oliver Lutkins. And then they went to Gray's barber shop, and you know, they were told that Oliver Lutkins was there just 5 minutes ago, and now he had left from there. So, children, now they had already gone to 3 places in search of Oliver Lutkins. Bill took the narrator to Fritz first, and then to Gustav's barber shop, and then to Gray's barber shop. In all these 3 places, they could not find Oliver Lutkins. They again started looking for Lutkins, and this time Bill suggested going to Lutkins' mother's farm. Okay. Now, Bill said that maybe he has gone to his mother's farm, so let us go and search for him there. So, when they reached the farm, Oliver Lutkins' mother shouted that she did not know anything about him. So, Bill persisted that Lutkins was immediately wanted as a witness in a legal case. He insisted for making a search of the house. Children, the moment they went to Lutkins' mother's farm, the mother got angry and she said that no, she was not there, he was not there at home, and she shouted at them. But Bill insisted that Lutkins was needed in the court as he was a witness in a legal case. And also Bill demanded that they would like to search the house, okay, because it was a summon from the court. So, he said that we want to search the house to see whether Lutkins was in the house. Now, Oliver Lutkins' mother seized an iron rod from the stove and threatened to burn them if they dared to make a search there. What did she do? She threatened to burn them with an iron rod which she had removed from the stove if they dared to enter the house and search for Oliver Lutkins. And now the lawyer was highly disappointed as he could not find even a trace of Oliver Lutkins. Children, the whole day he was roaming around with Bill in his hack to search Oliver Lutkins, and Bill took him to different places where possibly they could find Oliver Lutkins, but all their efforts were in vain. They could not find Oliver Lutkins even in his mother's farm. So, he had to go back, and he was really worried about facing his boss, and what would he say that he could not fulfill his mission of issuing the summon to Oliver Lutkins. He had failed in his mission. Now, his boss ordered the narrator to go back to New Million again, but this time children, what did he do? He sent him with a man who recognized Oliver Lutkins as he had worked with him, because this lawyer or the narrator had not met Oliver Lutkins before. He could not find him out, and he had to take the help of the hack driver, and despite that he was not able to find him. So, this time his boss sent a person with this lawyer who had already worked with Oliver Lutkins and who recognized him. Okay. So, now again when they reached New Million, he found Bill standing at the platform near his hack. Bill and Oliver Lutkins' mother stood together, they were talking and they were laughing freely. Children, when they reached the railway's platform, they could see Bill, who was the hack driver, and also Oliver Lutkins' mother, who was very rude to them, who had shouted at them. Now, Bill and this Oliver Lutkins' mother, both of them were talking very freely. Okay. Now, the narrator introduced Bill, the hack driver, to his companion. The narrator told the person who had come with him from the city to help the lawyer find out Oliver Lutkins. So, now the narrator introduced Bill. He said, see, this is the hack driver, who had helped me to search Oliver Lutkins. Now, the narrator's companion who had come with him was surprised and told him that the man was not Bill, but he was Oliver Lutkins himself. Children, now this is the twist in the story. Okay? Wasn't this a suspense, children? The whole day the narrator was roaming with Oliver Lutkins without knowing that he was Oliver Lutkins, and he was fooling him. He took him around to so many places, and he even promised to help him to find out Oliver Lutkins, whereas the narrator did not know that the whole day he had been roaming with Oliver Lutkins without knowing that he was Oliver Lutkins, and he went back disappointed that he was not able to find Oliver Lutkins. So, the moment he was introduced to Oliver Lutkins, and his friend told him that the person whom you thought to be Bill was in fact Oliver Lutkins. So, this was a great shock for him, okay? And as they found Oliver Lutkins at the platform itself, so they issued him the summon. So, now Lutkins and his mother made fun of the narrator. Now, why did they make fun of him and why did they laugh at him? To see that how he easily got befooled, okay, how he was fooled very easily. How could he allow himself to be fooled so easily? You know, they were laughing at him, and you know, children, what did they do? They did another sarcastic thing, and they begged the narrator to go with them to a neighbor's house for a cup of coffee, as they were anxious to see him. They were the only people in the town who had missed seeing him the previous day. Children, hear the suspense of the story and the last part where Lutkins and his mother made fun of this lawyer. Okay? They made fun of him, they laughed at him, and they also invited him to go with them to a neighbor's house for a cup of coffee. Because you know, the whole of New Millions knew about this young lawyer who was roaming around with Oliver Lutkins, and everybody was fooling him. Okay? Everybody there knew that this narrator was roaming around with Oliver Lutkins and he was searching for Oliver Lutkins. So, everybody knew except this neighbor of Oliver Lutkins. So, you know how sarcastically they bullied him or they made fun of him, saying that, you know, you must come with us to meet this neighbor who was very anxious to meet them, because he had not seen him the other day when he was roaming around. Okay? So, everybody knew there, everybody had seen that Oliver Lutkins was with this particular narrator who claimed to have come there to search Oliver Lutkins and issue him a summon. So, everybody there knew this story, everybody was enjoying this particular event or this particular you know, thing that happened there. Everybody knew it, children, except that neighbor. So, was not that you know, rude on the part of Oliver Lutkins and his mother to make fun of the narrator, of being so careless, of being so, you know, stupid, in fact, who allowed him to be fooled, and he had to go back and then come again with another person. You know, he failed to fulfill his mission and he was being made fun of. Children, let me tell you here that the whole day Bill took him around. You know, he even asked his wife to prepare lunch for Lutkins and the narrator. So, he took him around, he took him to a hilly place there to show him the beautiful place, and he talked a lot about the people over there to him. He spoke about different people, about college students, about the lawyer's wife, okay, and he described each of them, okay, and whole day he took him around. He even took him to his own farm, because Bill himself was Oliver Lutkins. Okay? So, children, do not you feel that we should not be so innocent that we allow ourselves to be cheated or to be fooled by others? So, that is what we learn from this particular story. Was not it interesting, children? at the same time a great learning that how are we supposed to be. We need to be clever, we need to be smart, we should not be so innocent that people make use of our innocence, or they take advantage of our innocence and try to cheat us. You should not be like that. Maybe many a times it happens with you also in your classroom, isn't it? If you try to be too innocent, quiet, do not speak to anybody. You remember the story of Wanda, children? She was also very quiet, she did not speak to anybody, she sat in the last row, and how the other girls made fun of her, bullied her, and how she was forced to leave that school and go and join some other school. So, as I have been telling you, there are so many values for us, great message for us in every lesson. Okay? So, how we need to be at home, in our neighborhood, in the classroom, in the school campus. So, children, many a times when we do not use our talents properly and we are afraid, and we even after possessing all the qualities, we fail to display them, we fail to be wise in many situations, to act wisely. People around us can easily fool us and cheat us. So, I hope you have understood the story, and you must read the story very carefully, try to understand the word meanings, look at the dictionary for the word meanings, okay, and try to understand the story so that you are able to answer the questions. Children, once the story is clear to you and the theme is clear to you, the values, because many a time in the examination you get value based questions. Therefore, in every chapter you must try to understand the characters very well, their qualities. Okay? So, if we talk about the young lawyer now, because we had discussed about Oliver Lutkins a lot. Okay? If you are asked to describe that person or how he was successful in fooling the young lawyer, you will be able to write easily now, isn't it? Because you know that he was very friendly, he was a joyous person, a jolly person, and he was very clever. He could easily fool or cheat people without the person even doubting that he could do so. Okay? So, we have seen this personality, and now let us try to look at the qualities of this young lawyer. Okay? Though he was a lawyer, he was made to work as a clerk, okay, and he was very innocent. Okay. He did not use his brain, or you can say he was not wise enough, okay, or he was not clever. We can also say that was stupid. Okay. Now he failed in his mission because of all these reasons. Okay. And you can say that he was also very simple. Okay, children. So, if you are smart enough, okay, and competent enough, so you would get whatever you deserve. For example, here though he was a lawyer, okay, he was doing the job of a clerk. So, that itself shows that he was not that clever or that competent, you know, otherwise he would not be roaming around issuing summons. Okay? And he was innocent, he was not wise, he did not use his brain. Okay? The whole day he was roaming around with this hack driver without even knowing that he himself was Oliver Lutkins, for whom he was searching, and he had to go back. Okay? And he had also you know, to face the rude behavior of Oliver Lutkins' mother. Okay? So, when you are reading the story, if you try to write down the qualities of the main characters, so it becomes easy for you to write about them, to describe them. And now from this chapter there could be questions that write a character sketch of Oliver Lutkins, or the narrator of the story, the hack driver, the young lawyer, or how was Oliver Lutkins successful in not allowing himself to be recognized by the young lawyer, or how he was successful in you know, making this person believe that all their efforts of searching Oliver Lutkins had failed. Okay? There could also be a question as to what was the reaction of Oliver Lutkins and his mother when the young lawyer recognized Oliver Lutkins, or he came to know the truth. So, you can write the way they made fun of him and invited him to come for a cup of coffee to their neighbor, as they were the only ones who had not seen him. So, children, I would request you to read the chapter very carefully and comprehend in a better manner by jotting down the points in your notebook and writing the subheadings for each paragraph, which will help you to a great extent in answering the questions. So, happy reading, stay safe, stay at home.